All Fetu, welcome back. Welcome to Dibalin Football Channel. Kaizer Chiefs Football Channel is channel football from the fans' perspective. We're speaking Kaizer Chiefs, we're speaking PSL, we're speaking transfers, and if you are new in the channel, welcome. Let us subscribe and let us turn on the notification button. And thanks, man. Thanks for viewing the video. Let's get into business. We're speaking Teboho Mokoena, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Kaizer Chiefs. The news are that first of all, there's a lot of players that are linked with Kaizer Chiefs. Lot of names linked with Kaizer Chiefs. I think over 12, 13 players that were linked with Kaizer Chiefs in this transfer window. Transfer window is about to close. I think we're left with a week, and there's no signings from Kaizer Chiefs, and it is much understandable. A lot of teams are not active. It looks like teams are reluctant to make signings in the middle of the season. It's going to be panic buys, panic signings that you will regret at the end of the season. You would have wasted money. The player would not be relevant to the project you are trying to build. And Mamelodi Sundowns and Maritzburg are the active teams, and other teams I'm not sure of other teams if they're active, but Maritzburg is very active, made about 5 signings. Orlando Mamelodi Sundowns has made 2 signings, and now it is reported, the news are that Sundowns and Teboho Mokoena have agreed personal terms, and it is now left with the clubs to discuss the signing fee, to agree. And it is said that the negotiations between the clubs, SuperSport and Mamelodi Sundowns are already in advanced stages. It is expected that Sundowns will, or SuperSport will conclude this thing before the end of this week, and Teboho Mokoena will eventually join in the middle of the season. Something that I never expected. I never expected SuperSport to send their best player in the middle of the season, send him away. I didn't expect that. It is said that the deal will cost about 25 million rands, meaning Sundowns was able to meet that price, 25 million rands. I think that's justified. That is much, understandable for a player of Teboho Mokoena. And they're beating Anderlecht of Belgium, coached by Vincent Kompany, and Kaizer Chiefs that was linked with the player. Kaizer Chiefs has been linked with this player for about 4 or 5 transfer windows, 2 or 3 seasons. Understandably so, because that's the kind of players that we need. It's the kind of players we need. But it looks like Mamelodi Sundowns has made the signing, and the news, the person responding on it is not just the newspapers. It is said it is a representative of Teboho Mokoena that broke the news, that confirmed the talks, confirmed the agreements. So yeah, it looks like it's very certain it's going to happen. Before I make a comment on this, I just want to mention a few things. Signings are made for different purposes, for different reasons, and the first reason why a signing is made. First of all, you can sign a player, an experienced player. Club can sign an experienced player because they want to bring in stability into the club. They want to improve the dressing room of the club. The player will bring in experience and leadership in the club, and that is very much important. Mostly done with old players, experienced players that can be captain, can guide the young players in the team. Second reason can be that you sign a potential player, not yet good, a potential player you think you can improve this player. This player needs some kind of refining. Work on them, they can become big thing in the club, or they can become a decent player in the club, or you can improve their value and then sell them with a better price. Normally it's done with young players that are out of contract. You want to improve their value, and you think there's a potential, you can refine 1 or 2 things, and then you can place them in the market with a much more higher value, and you can get your money back. And sometimes you make signings because you're trying to prevent your rivals from signing a player. Mostly done in PSL as well. Mamelodi Sundowns has done it by signing George Malulega from Kaizer Chiefs to destabilize your opponent, your rival, or to try and prevent your rivals from having the player in their book. You don't need the player, necessarily need the player, but you just don't want your rivals having this player. So the kind of signings are done as well, tactical signings, and it's part of football. Also, you sign a player because they are quality players. They arrive in the team, they make the team better. They are an upgrade to the players you have. They're a quality player. It is a player of a status. He has caps, he has cup titles, and he's a very big personality. Teboho Mokoena is such a player, very big personality, a very important player, very quality player. He arrives in any team in PSL, he makes it better. Arrives in Mamelodi Sundowns, he makes it better. Arrives Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, he makes the team a better team than it is right now. And the fact that Kaizer Chiefs seems not be competing when it comes to those players is worrisome. For us to compete with Mamelodi Sundowns, compete with Orlando Pirates on the pitch, first we must compete with them when it comes to transfers. When it comes to the transfer window, we must compete them with money. If you can't compete with Mamelodi Sundowns as far as money is concerned, can't compete with Orlando Pirates, forget thinking you're going to compete with them on the pitch. It is not going to happen. If there's a player that is wanted by Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns also wants, we know that Kaizer Chiefs is going to lose on that race. Same if there's a player wanted by Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates also is interested in the player. We know Kaizer Chiefs is going to lose the race, and there is no way. There is no way we can lose the race in transfers and win the race on the pitch. It's not possible. It's not possible. Football is about money. It is about making the right signing. And Kaizer Chiefs currently is not doing that. And let's be honest, Teboho Mokoena arrives in Mamelodi Sundowns, makes it better. The team Mamelodi Sundowns already, it is difficult to beat. It is impossible to beat this season. It's the best team in this season. Even in African competitions, Sundowns looks like the most scariest team in Africa right now. They have the best midfielder right now. They have players like Rivaldo Kotze, they have players like Jali. But he arrives in that team, he makes it better. He can play as the Mamelodi Sundowns and likes playing three midfielders. He can play together with Jali. And Kotze can be the third player, can be a player that is mobile. What is nice about him is that he's mobile. He is very versatile. He can play forward, can play as a creative player. He can play in the midfield, he can play as an 8, but also he can play in a double pivot. Can also play in double pivot. If you don't want a congested midfield, you can play him with another player, pay him with a player, can pay him with a player going forward, and an offensive player can pay him with a defensive player. He's comfortable in playing in almost every part of that midfield, and is still very young, 24 years old. So it makes that team better. And what it does to Mamelodi Sundowns right now is that Sundowns normally, the struggle can be, they are very good in build up, but sometimes the balls can arrive very late into the box, and sometimes Sereno and Tembazwane must come deep, fetch the balls and progress them. And what it does, Teboho Mokoena, is that it relieves Tembazwane, Gaston Sereno, and any other forward player of that responsibility to come in the midfield to fetch the balls and take them up front. Because he can do that himself. He can play the long balls, can play the long through balls. He can play it short. He can carry the ball, take one player forward, and what is nice about him is that he can arrive in the box and he has goals in him. So he improves that team. There is no doubt about it. He improves that Mamelodi Sundowns team. And that Kaizer Chiefs didn't compete with Sundowns in as far as signing this player is very much disappointing. Good business for Mamelodi Sundowns. This definitely will make them a team impossible to beat in PSL. And this definitely will be one of their best signings coming, going back and going forward into this transfer windows. Is still going to be one of their best signings Mamelodi Sundowns could have made. It's going to be, if in future, can become the captain of Mamelodi Sundowns if it doesn't go overseas. So disappointing Kaizer Chiefs. Very good business for Mamelodi Sundowns. Very good business. Already Sundowns signed Ralane. They brought another South American, very good player, very aggressive guy who can score goals, who is very creative, who can pass. And the addition of Teboho Mokoena, man, I don't know. I don't want to say much. I think I've said a lot. But Kaizer Chiefs, very disappointing to be honest. Right now, in the middle of the season, we started the season, we've been struggling throughout the season. We have been trying to convert defenders into midfielders. Tried to convert Jabulo Ngwabo, tried to convert Bloom into a midfield. There is a midfield in the market. Kaizer Chiefs doesn't compete. We're trying to to convert defenders, and we hoping we're going to compete against Mamelodi Sundowns, we're going to win a cup. That is not possible. It's not possible. Forget about that miracle. Forget about that miracle. I think Kaizer Chiefs is still confused. The management is still confused. They're still stingy about money. They don't want to get money. And now Kaizer Chiefs no longer even goes out to fetch, to try and search players all around Africa. AFCON, there's a lot of promising players. Some players are playing in Europe. Some players are playing in lower divisions in France and Belgium and stuff like that. But very promising players. Kaizer Chiefs does not even want to go out there and search for talent nowadays. And to be honest, it's very disappointing. Very disappointing. I'd like to hear from you. What is it you think about the signing for Mamelodi Sundowns? What do you think it means to Kaizer Chiefs? And what do you think it means to PSL? Otherwise, now I'm tempted to join Omazola and say, give Mamelodi Sundowns their league. Give them their league. And they deserve it. And they show that they want it. They are a better team in many ways than Kaizer Chiefs. And it is very sad that I must say that here. Ordinarily, I would not say that. Otherwise, let me hear from you. Teboho Football Channel, Kaizer Chiefs Football Channel. Football from the fans' perspective, it is love and peace.